Dolores Hart. Born into a Hollywood family in 1938, Dolores Hart blazed through the entertainment industry with unprecedented grace, starring alongside Elvis Presley and becoming one of Paramount Pictures' most promising talents. Her meteoric rise included 10 major films in 5 years, with a starting salary that eclipsed most veteran actors. Behind the dazzling spotlight, Hart harbored a profound spiritual calling that would reshape her destiny. At the peak of her career, earning the equivalent of $2 million per picture in today's currency, she shocked the industry by departing Hollywood in 1963. Hart became Mother Dolores at the Abbey of Regina Laudis, transforming from a starlet who graced magazine covers to a Benedictine nun who tended to a monastery's chicken coop. The revelation that truly astounds: she remains the only Oscar-voting member of the Academy who is also a nun, maintaining her membership to this day. Her spiritual journey began during the filming of Francis of Assisi, where she experienced what she described as divine intervention. While portraying St. Clair, Hart discovered her true calling wasn't in the artificial paradise of Hollywood, but in the austere walls of a Connecticut monastery. Perhaps most fascinating, she never fully abandoned her entertainment roots. She helped establish a theater program at the Abbey, believing that dramatic arts could serve as a bridge between spiritual and secular worlds. Her transformation from Hollywood's Golden Girl to Reverend Mother has spanned more than 50 years, longer than her acting career by a factor of 10. Today, she continues to counsel troubled young women, applying the emotional depth she once used in acting to guide others through spiritual crises. Loretta Young. In 1934, at the height of Hollywood's golden age, Loretta Young enacted a personal policy that stunned studio executives. She installed a swear jar on every film set she worked on, donating the proceeds to Catholic charities. This devout Catholic actress, who began her career in 1917 as a child star, maintained a strict moral code that influenced every aspect of her 47-year career. Young's religious conviction ran so deep that she established a practice unprecedented in Hollywood. She required all her film contracts to include a morality clause, refusing to film scenes that contradicted Catholic teachings. Her dedication to faith extended beyond personal practice. She privately funded the construction of 3 churches in impoverished areas of California, keeping her contributions anonymous until after her passing in 2000. A lesser-known fact: Young maintained a private chapel in her home where she would pray for 3 hours each morning before filming, often arriving on set with her rosary beads still in hand. Her religious devotion influenced her business decisions in remarkable ways. She became one of the first actresses to reject the studio system's ironclad control, establishing her own production company in 1953 to ensure her films aligned with her moral standards. She pioneered the concept of family-friendly entertainment decades before it became an industry category. Young's commitment to her faith extended to her pioneering television show, where she insisted on addressing moral dilemmas in every episode, subtly incorporating Catholic social teachings into mainstream entertainment. Jane Russell. Throughout Hollywood's golden era, Jane Russell stood as an unlikely spiritual warrior, maintaining a fervent Christian faith while navigating the provocative persona thrust upon her by Hollywood publicity machines. In 1943, while filming The Outlaw, Russell established weekly Bible study sessions on set, converting a makeup trailer into an impromptu chapel. Despite her sultry screen image, she devoted substantial portions of her earnings to establishing the World Adoption International Fund, driven by her Christian beliefs in caring for orphaned children. The organization facilitated the adoption of more than 40,000 children. Lesser known is Russell's role in founding Hollywood Christian Group, a gathering of entertainment professionals who met secretly in her home during the 1950s to study scripture and support each other's faith journeys. She personally led these meetings for over 3 decades, influencing countless industry professionals. Russell's religious convictions manifested in unexpected ways. She refused numerous lucrative roles that conflicted with her beliefs, instead channeling her energy into gospel music, recording 4 spiritual albums that showcased her deep connection to Christian hymns. Her faith-based decisions often puzzled studio executives, particularly when she declined to film on Sundays, maintaining this principle throughout her entire career. Perhaps most remarkably, she established a network of underground prayer groups across Hollywood studios, creating safe spaces for religious artists to maintain their faith while working in an often contradictory industry. Roy Rogers. Known as the King of the Cowboys, Roy Rogers built an entertainment empire on the foundation of his unwavering Christian faith, insisting that every episode of his show include moral lessons drawn from Scripture. In 1943, Rogers established an unprecedented contract requirement: All his films had to include at least one gospel song, making him the first Western star to consistently incorporate religious music into the genre. Behind his public persona, Rogers maintained a strict personal practice of reading Bible passages to his cast and crew before filming each day, a tradition that lasted throughout his 30-year career. His lesser-known initiative involved purchasing and converting old movie theaters into youth ministry centers across rural America, creating safe spaces for children to enjoy entertainment while receiving spiritual guidance. Rogers and his wife Dale Evans dedicated substantial resources to establishing Christian summer camps, eventually founding 7 facilities that served thousands of children annually. The couple's faith manifested in their business decisions. They refused to license their names to products that didn't align with their Christian values, potentially foregoing millions in revenue. Perhaps most fascinating was Rogers' secret ministry to Hollywood stunt performers, establishing a prayer and support network that provided spiritual and financial assistance to injured performers and their families. His influence extended beyond entertainment. He served as a lay minister, performing hundreds of marriages and baptisms for fans and fellow performers who sought his spiritual guidance. Dale Evans. Beyond her famous marriage to Roy Rogers, Dale Evans carved her own path as a deeply spiritual force in Hollywood, guided by her unwavering Christian faith. In 1947, she established a groundbreaking precedent by refusing to film scenes on Sundays, leading to an industry-wide discussion about religious accommodation and film scheduling. Her spiritual journey intensified after personal hardships, transforming her into one of Hollywood's most influential Christian authors, penning 14 faith-based books that sold millions of copies. A closely guarded secret, Evans maintained a prayer room on every film set, converting unused storage spaces into spiritual sanctuaries where cast and crew members could seek solace during challenging production days. Her commitment to faith-based entertainment led her to personally finance Christian radio programs, creating content that reached remote rural communities across America. Evans pioneered the integration of spiritual messages into mainstream entertainment, skillfully weaving biblical principles into her scripts without alienating secular audiences. Her lesser-known initiative involved establishing a network of Christian artists in Hollywood, creating safe spaces for believers to maintain their faith while pursuing their careers. She dedicated substantial portions of her earnings to establishing children's homes, focusing particularly on those with special needs, inspired by her own experiences as a mother. Perhaps most remarkably, Evans conducted unofficial ministry work between takes, offering spiritual counseling to fellow performers struggling with the pressures of Hollywood life. Her influence extended far beyond entertainment. She established prayer circles that continued meeting decades after her passing, creating lasting communities of faith within the entertainment industry. Gary Cooper. In the glittering facade of Hollywood's golden age, Gary Cooper maintained a private but profound Catholic faith that fundamentally shaped his career choices and personal life. His conversion to Catholicism in 1959 sent shockwaves through the industry, yet few knew that he had been secretly studying Catholic doctrine for 15 years prior, attending Mass in disguise at small parishes across Los Angeles. Cooper's spiritual journey led him to establish an unprecedented clause in his contracts: the right to refuse scenes that contradicted Catholic teachings, a stance that cost him several high-profile roles but earned him respect among religious audiences. A carefully guarded fact: he maintained a private chapel in his home where he would pray before accepting any new role, seeking divine guidance in his career decisions. His dedication to faith manifested in unexpected ways. He anonymously funded the education of seminarians, supporting over 50 future priests through their studies. Cooper's religious conviction influenced his approach to method acting, developing a technique he called spiritual method, where he would meditate on religious texts related to his character's moral dilemmas. Perhaps most fascinating was his secret role as a spiritual advisor to numerous Hollywood personalities, hosting private gatherings where industry professionals could discuss faith without fear of public scrutiny. In his final years, he dedicated significant resources to establishing a foundation that supported religious education in the entertainment industry, creating a legacy that continued long after his passing in 1961. His personal library, discovered after his death, revealed extensive theological studies and correspondence with religious leaders worldwide, demonstrating a depth of spiritual scholarship few suspected in the seemingly secular star. Irene Dunne. Beneath the sophisticated persona that graced the silver screen, Irene Dunne lived a life deeply rooted in Catholic faith, maintaining religious practices that often puzzled Hollywood executives. In 1935, she established a private protocol that required all her film contracts to accommodate regular Mass attendance, an unprecedented demand during Hollywood's golden age. Dunn's dedication to her faith extended beyond personal practice. She served on the board of numerous Catholic charities, directing substantial portions of her earnings to religious causes while maintaining strict anonymity. A closely guarded revelation, she maintained a secret prayer group for Catholic actresses, meeting in her home to provide spiritual support and guidance in navigating the moral challenges of Hollywood. Her influence extended to the Vatican, where she served as a special consultant on matters relating to the film industry, becoming one of the first performers to bridge the gap between Hollywood and the Catholic Church. Dunn's religious conviction influenced her script choices in remarkable ways. She developed a personal rating system based on Catholic teachings, rejecting numerous lucrative roles that conflicted with her beliefs. Perhaps most fascinating was her establishment of a scholarship program for Catholic performers, helping talented individuals maintain their faith while pursuing entertainment careers. She pioneered the concept of faith-friendly entertainment, carefully selecting roles that could convey moral messages without appearing preachy. Her dedication to religious education led her to fund the construction of several Catholic schools, particularly in underprivileged areas of Los Angeles. In her later years, she devoted herself to establishing programs that helped young Catholic artists navigate the entertainment industry, while maintaining their religious principles, creating a lasting legacy of faith-based mentorship in Hollywood. John Wayne. Behind the rugged exterior of Hollywood's quintessential cowboy, John Wayne harbored a profound spiritual journey that culminated in his conversion to Catholicism in 1979. This deeply personal transformation had been brewing for decades, influenced by his third wife Pilar's devout faith and his own growing spiritual awareness. A carefully guarded fact, Wayne had been secretly attending Catholic services for years before his conversion, often sitting in back pews of small churches where he wouldn't be recognized. His spiritual journey influenced his later film choices, subtly incorporating themes of redemption and moral accountability into his characters. Wayne established a private foundation that supported religious education in rural communities, particularly in areas where his Western films had been popular. His lesser-known initiative involved creating a prayer support network for stunt performers, ensuring they received spiritual guidance alongside medical care when injured. The depth of his faith manifested in unexpected ways. He insisted on having Catholic priests as technical advisors on films with religious themes, ensuring accurate representation of church traditions. Perhaps most remarkable was his founding of a scholarship fund for Native American children to attend Catholic schools, an effort to reconcile his on-screen portrayal of Western expansion with his growing spiritual awareness. In his final years, Wayne dedicated significant resources to supporting religious education programs in hospitals, particularly in cancer treatment centers. His personal library, revealed after his passing, contained extensively annotated religious texts and correspondence with spiritual leaders, demonstrating a theological curiosity that contrasted sharply with his public image. His conversion story became a powerful testimony in Hollywood's Catholic community, inspiring others to explore their faith openly despite potential career implications. Ricardo Montalban. In the shadows of Hollywood's star system, Ricardo Montalban maintained an unwavering Catholic faith that shaped every aspect of his six-decade career. In 1942, he established an unprecedented practice of attending daily Mass before arriving on set, often traveling hours to find Spanish-language services. His dedication to faith manifested in the creation of the Nosotros Foundation in 1970, an organization that promoted positive representation of Latino performers while secretly operating as a spiritual support network for Catholic artists in Hollywood. A carefully guarded revelation, Montalban maintained a private chapel in his dressing room on every production, transforming ordinary studio spaces into sacred environments for prayer and reflection. His influence extended beyond entertainment. He served as a lay minister within the Latino entertainment community, providing spiritual guidance to countless performers struggling with Hollywood's moral challenges. Perhaps most fascinating was his establishment of an underground network of Catholic industry professionals who met monthly to discuss maintaining their faith while pursuing their careers. Montalban's religious conviction led him to create strict personal guidelines for role selection, refusing parts that contradicted Catholic teachings despite potential career advancement. His lesser-known initiative involved funding Catholic education for Latino youth in the entertainment industry, creating opportunities for the next generation to maintain their faith while pursuing artistic careers. He pioneered the integration of subtle Catholic themes into mainstream television, particularly during his tenure on Fantasy Island, where he insisted on incorporating messages of redemption and moral responsibility. His dedication to faith-based entertainment extended to establishing a production company that specialized in creating family-friendly content with underlying spiritual themes. In his later years, he devoted substantial resources to establishing prayer groups across major studios, creating lasting communities of faith within the entertainment industry. Anne Blyth. Throughout Hollywood's golden era, Anne Blyth maintained an uncompromising Catholic faith that influenced every aspect of her career and personal life. In 1945, at merely 17 years old, she established a revolutionary precedent by refusing to film scenes that contradicted Catholic teachings, a stance that both challenged and transformed industry standards. Her dedication to faith extended beyond personal practice. She maintained a strict policy of attending Mass daily, often requiring production schedules to accommodate her religious obligations. A closely guarded secret, Blyth established a network of safe houses for Catholic performers facing industry pressure to compromise their beliefs, providing both spiritual and practical support. Her influence in Hollywood's Catholic community ran deeper than publicly known. She served as an unofficial advisor to the Legion of Decency, helping shape film ratings while advocating for more nuanced evaluation of artistic content. Perhaps most remarkable was her establishment of a prayer ministry specifically for young performers, creating a support system that continued operating quietly for decades. Her commitment to faith-based decision-making led her to decline numerous high-profile roles that might have advanced her career but conflicted with her religious principles. Her lesser-known initiative involved creating scholarship programs for Catholic students pursuing careers in entertainment, ensuring the next generation could maintain their faith while developing their talents. She pioneered the concept of faith-conscious performance, developing techniques to portray complex characters while respecting religious boundaries. Her dedication to religious education manifested in the establishment of performing arts programs in Catholic schools across California, creating safe spaces for young artists to develop their talents within a spiritual framework. Glenn Ford. Behind the versatile performances that defined his career, Glenn Ford maintained a profound Protestant faith that shaped his approach to both acting and life in Hollywood. In 1952, he established a personal mandate requiring Sunday filming restrictions, a practice that influenced industry scheduling practices for religious performers. His spiritual journey led him to create an informal ministry within the studio system, offering guidance to fellow performers struggling with faith-related challenges in their careers. A carefully concealed fact: Ford maintained a prayer group that met weekly in his home for over 3 decades, providing spiritual support to industry professionals across religious denominations. His dedication to faith-based decision-making influenced his script selection process, developing a unique approach that evaluated roles based on their potential for moral messaging. Perhaps most fascinating was his organization of an interfaith dialogue group within Hollywood, creating spaces for performers of different religious backgrounds to find common ground. Glenn Ford's religious conviction manifested in his philanthropic work. He anonymously funded numerous religious education programs, particularly focusing on interfaith understanding in the entertainment industry. His lesser-known initiative involved creating a support network for religious performers facing career challenges, providing both spiritual and practical assistance. He pioneered the integration of Protestant values into mainstream entertainment, subtly incorporating themes of redemption and moral responsibility into his characters. His dedication to faith-based entertainment extended to establishing a production company that specialized in creating family-friendly content with underlying spiritual messages. In his later years, he devoted significant resources to establishing prayer rooms in major studios, creating lasting spaces for spiritual reflection within the entertainment industry. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment. Also consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to get notified of our new videos each week. Thanks for watching.